You need to breathe more. You need to recognise where breath activity is. Breath activity is predominantly 2 fingers above your belly button, below your rib cage. It's the place I worked at in terms of nerves, like neural activity. This is where you feel the most movement. And what you do is you put your hand on your throat. Don't breathe into your throat, breathe into here. Do you hear that little crack in the voice? That's because I'm not open. My breath is not open. Now the other thing you can do is to breathe. We don't take breaths, we open breaths. Okay? When you breathe naturally, in terms of respiration, you're not actually taking in air. You're letting it in. You're not going, I need oxygen. You're not doing that. You might do that if you're like drowning, but we're not drowning, most of us. So you open your. So the thing is, we naturally just. That's the natural breathing process. I would say that it's the similarity between a good. So actually, what is a good sung breath is worth recognizing in practice. So what's a good breath for singing is worth recognizing in practice. And you can recognize when you breathe normally is the air just goes in. And you can feel your ribs expanding and then relaxing. Okay. Now the thing is, as I say, we want, in order for the larynx to sit kind of lower generally, just to feel more relaxed. It's not the larynx to push down. It's just it's allowed to just relax. So it's allowed to do that. Don't engage your throat. Try not to. Try and do nothing. So that's one thing. But the next thing is it's not just about that allowance and this awareness. It's more than that. We can now more consciously breathe in, so expand like this. The reason why I'm singing is because the way you make sound will actually dictate how your laryngeal muscles, how your throat is operating. And the way your throat is operating will dictate how your body is engaged with your throat. Okay? So, zwei Grenadier, die waren in Russland gefangen. Now what's really important is that an oo vowel is actually very clearly oo, that it is not like any other vowel. Ru, oo, oo, oo. And that's why if a singer has a bad oo vowel, it's going to compromise the throat. And it's the same with an e vowel. The e vowel has to be felt in the bridge between hard and soft palate, going into the head. E, e, I, So I'll show you my exercise for low larynx stuff. I do that at the end of warming up a bit, I warm up my lower register and then I go high just to test to see if it'll compromise it. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to stay in the low larynx when you sing higher. When I sing in lots of choirs and things, it's actually best that I don't go into a low larynx sound, because the low larynx sound will project more, and sometimes in choirs people don't want that. If you're singing in a choir which is not very loud, then you don't want to stick out, and I do believe that I can be adaptable and versatile, but also healthy at the same time. And actually I would say that the next stage of vocal warming up is, to some extent, in encouraging the speaking voice into this kind of freer, more open throat. We live in a society which does not like noisy people. These are cultural matters. People make jokes often at people who have loud speaking voices and saying how annoying they are. But in terms of good singing technique, healthy singing technique, actually having quite a loud speaking voice is a good thing. It means that your body is engaged. That's really what it means. And you want your body to facilitate your larynx, your voice. So therefore, actually, a really good way of channeling this is wearing headphones and hilariously not listening to music, which is what I'm currently doing. And this is why good singers don't give a shit about their environment. But I think people do worse things in the world. There are a lot of antisocial people. I'm not going to get an ASBO for speaking loudly, unless, of course, I come across a kind of authoritarian librarian and I spend all of my time in the library. Like, I'm not going to, people are committing atrocities and like burglaries and theft and fraud, and me having a loud speaking voice in society is not a bad thing. The thing is, actually, because I am a hypersensitive person, because that comes with autism, it does mean that I actually do have a tendency to like shut off my resonance, which is really like hilarious, given that I spend all of my time teaching singing. But actually, it's important to just release. The best thing about vocal freedom, vocal health, is releasing. If you train your body and your voice to just release sound, just let it go. If you learn to do that, then when you need to sing loudly with a microphone in front of you, you ain't going to push as much, because your body is used to releasing. I think a huge reason why people might lose their voices or develop nodules and vocal problems, which are extremely costly to them emotionally and in terms of their bank balance, the reason why they might is because they haven't drilled in a feeling that their body and voice are connected. Look at Tom Jones, right? That man is in his mid-80s, right? But listen to his voice. It is a released sound. This is open. This is engaged. You can be like that in your 80s. You can be like that in your 90s. I'm very sensitive to these things when I go around society in my daily life, because this is my work, and I'm fascinated by vocal health. And vocal health does not come from blowing bubbles, because your speech therapist says. Vocal health does not come from, having singing lessons. Vocal health comes from releasing your emotions, but not pushing air. But that it's a felt balance. Like if you're shouting every day, and not in a good way, then yeah, you're going to lose a voice over time. I kind of know, because that's what I did first year at uni when I was singing in the choir. But just let it go. The voice is there.